Franz Ferdinand on Pure 7.8 FM. That's No You Girls, and as mentioned before that, I am joined by Thomas Nicholas, who I've got on the line now. Good evening, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thanks for asking. Before we start, I like to be polite and be formal. Is it Thomas or is it Tom?
Tom, Thomas, hey you. You can call me anything you want.
But I'm going to go with Tom. Keep the relaxed feel going about.
All right.
So you're playing in Chester tonight. Have you been in Chester before?
Yeah, I played on my last UK tour, which was 2 years ago. We played at a different spot in Chester. I actually can't remember the name of it. I know it was like a nightclub, and there was a bunch of rooms, and we played in like the VIP room.
Nice.
So the last tour sort of fell apart underneath the rug pulled out from under us, and then we met a load of great people in Wales, and they kind of helped us out of a jam and booked us some last minute shows. So we played, in which obviously, I realize that Chester's in England technically, but we met a lot of good people in Wrexham, which is in Wales.
It's pretty close, and they are nice folks over there. So when you go around these places, obviously you're stateside, you're based stateside, but when you come to England, you see all these different cities and places. Do you like to get out and explore, or are you very much kind of moved around from gig to gig, and you don't get much chance to see the surroundings? Well,
I mean, you can't help but see the surroundings that you probably take for granted. In the States, we're a pretty young place, and the architecture doesn't have one iota in the States as it has here. I mean, for instance, we're staying at a house right now near Wrexham because our sound engineer is Mike Edwards, who is from there. So we're crashing at his house for the last few days. The house that he lives in is 280 years old.
Wow.
I believe that is older than America.
To be fair, that's impressive even to folk over here. I'm sure that's older than my house, although, yeah, I'm pretty certain it is. So you're over here. Well, is it another week of gigs? I know what we're going to see you in Nottingham on Sunday, but is it another week?
This is the end of the official Acoustic Madness tour with Jamie Lovat, the guy that had competed on The Voice in the UK.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'm doing a guest appearance at Bunker at Team Up in Cardiff.
Cardiff, yeah.
And then the weekend we have Hit the Deck, where we're opening up for Chris Rowe from the Ataris on the acoustic stage. We're his main support on Saturday and Sunday in Bristol and Nottingham.
Nice. Now, I am sorry to go down this route. I'm sure you've answered a lot of questions, and I won't stay on it for too long. But obviously, big fan of the American Pie movies. It was something I had to bring up, and it's interesting to see a person such as yourself go in between music and acting. As I understand, I was reading a quick biography before. Excuse me. I believe you're into the music first. Was that right, or have I?
I wish it was, because I do love music. I started acting maybe about 27 years ago, and I started playing music about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I love them both dearly, and yeah, it is strange to see. I think the only person who's done it to any level of success on both fronts is Jared Leto with 30 Seconds to Mars.
He's top in the bill, isn't he?
Yeah, and for a minute he denounced his acting career like it was, the equivalent of waiting tables, and then he goes and wins an Oscar. So,
Yeah, he's not doing too badly for himself, is he? I mean,
yeah.
I would never ask you to pick between the two. I mean, I know that a few people have debated over the years, but one question that I was thinking, which because I've played a few music parts myself, etc. One question I needed to ask was, how has what you've done acting wise, has that ever affected or has that ever inspired any of your music?
Oh, for sure. I think the first sort of time that it infiltrated was on a very in-depth character study of Abbie Hoffman, which was the role I played in the Chicago 8. And Abbie Hoffman was, one of the forefront runners of the Cultural Revolution in the 60s in the States. So the film was all about the famous federal trial of, the state against 8 men crossing state lines with the intent to incite a riot.
Right.
So Abbie Hoffman is amazing, intelligent, crazy, and he wrote a number of books. So when I started really getting in depth to that, it really inspired my, I guess you'd call it my sophomore record, Heroes Are Human. And so there's a lot of, revolution and cultural or even conspiracy theories that kind of found their way into the lyrics of those songs, which was quite nice because I usually end up writing mostly about relationships or, my own experiences. So to go outside of myself was really fun.
It's great to hear you speak about this because obviously you take a deep interest in both. I mean, dare I ask, in the next 5-10 years, what do you see you channeling more energy on? Or is that a question you don't really know the answer to yet?
Well, I mean, it's the same way that, unlike Jared Leto, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm going to pick one over the other just so you'll believe me more and then turn around and do what he did. So I'm always going to do both. I always, I've done both now for 20 years. I've got 5 albums, 400 shows. I've lost count of how many movies. I just recently played Walt Disney in a film that'll be out later this year called Walt Before Mickey.
Really?
And then I shot a TV pilot, which we won't find out for a few months if it gets picked up the series. But I actually do the crossover role, which is I am playing a rock musician in the series. So the first time you meet me, I'm playing and singing guitar and doing a cover of The Fray.
That's handy. That's
which they hired me for my acting chops. And they were quite excited when they saw that I, didn't suck on guitar and singing.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. One thing that I was kind of thinking about when you mention, there is the Jared Leto kind of character who was, he's created a name for himself in both the acting and the music world. One example that I thought of when I was thinking about musicians / actors was Tom Waits. And I know obviously he's focused much more on his music than he has on his acting. But I don't suppose there's any others that inspired you, or was it just a musician or just an actor that you kind of see as that's my inspiration?
I I definitely see. I don't really cross-inspire, or I'm not cross-inspired, so to say, so to speak. If that's what you're asking, I definitely have musicians that I emulate.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen or Dave Grohl. And I'd love to play Bruce Springsteen in a biopic one day. And then I have actors that I look up to, which is all the people that can do the character leads, Daniel Day-Lewis or Gary Oldman, that just can disguise themselves in the character that they're playing so much so that unless you're looking at their resume, you sometimes don't even realize it's them.
Yeah. That's a very good way of putting it. I won't keep you for too much longer there, Tom. I know you've got a big gig to get ready for tonight, but just finally, do you have anything to say to the fans that are going to come watch you tonight? Any message you'd like to pass on? Or indeed for the rest of the tour?
The only thing I have to say is if you're here tonight, then that means that I'm playing music, and I would say a lot of people probably know more about my acting career than my music, but that, in my mind, makes the people who are here tonight pretty darn cool. So I'd just like to say thank you for anyone that comes to the shows. And, my plan is to keep coming back and touring in the UK as much as possible. And I don't know. Hopefully people will keep coming back and the shows will keep getting bigger and bigger.
That sounds good indeed. You're always welcome over here. It has been an honour to speak to you. Like I say, I will let you get on. Big fan of the movies and the music. I'm actually going to spin one of your tracks now, but thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show.
No worries, thanks.